Dark alleyways, sirens in the distance. A group of young men standing on a corner like they own the night. From the outside, it looks like loyalty, brotherhood, power. But look closer. Behind the tattoos, behind the loud voices, behind the fake confidence, you often find something much smaller. Fear. Not fear of enemies, fear of being nobody. Because the truth most people don't want to admit is this: many gangs are not built by the strongest men. They are built by the most insecure ones. Young men who feel invisible, ignored, humiliated, powerless. And when a man feels powerless long enough, he begins to crave power in the fastest way possible. Not earned power, borrowed power. A gang offers exactly that. Instant identity, instant protection, instant status. But underneath the colors, the rules, and the reputation, there is a deeper psychological story. A story about weakness, about belonging, about anger, and about what happens when a man tries to replace discipline with domination. Because, in reality, the psychology of gangs is not about strength. It's about what weak men do when they can't control themselves. So they try to control the world around them. The identity vacuum. Lack of personal identity. Desire for instant belonging. External validation over self-respect. Some men grow up with a strong sense of who they are. Others grow up empty. No direction. No purpose. No identity. Just a constant feeling that they don't matter. Psychologists call this an identity vacuum. A mental space where a man has never built a personal code. He doesn't know what he stands for. He doesn't know what he believes. He only knows one thing. He wants to feel like he belongs somewhere. And gangs understand this weakness perfectly. They offer something powerful, a ready-made identity. You don't need discipline. You don't need accomplishments. All you need is loyalty to the group. The moment he joins, something changes. Suddenly, he's not just a lost individual. He's part of a name, a symbol, a reputation. The gang becomes his personality. His clothing changes. His language changes. His posture changes. But none of it is real. It's borrowed identity, like wearing armor that doesn't belong to you. Because strong men build identity through struggle. Weak men rent it from groups. And gangs are one of the fastest ways to feel like someone when deep down you feel like no one. The hunger for respect. Respect is one of the deepest psychological needs in men. Every man wants to feel that his presence matters. But when respect is missing, something dangerous begins to grow. Many gang members share a common history. They were ignored in school, bullied, mocked, looked down on. They walked through life feeling small. And humiliation leaves scars. Scars that turn into anger. But instead of building themselves into men worthy of respect, they take a shortcut. They choose fear. Because fear looks a lot like respect from a distance. When people cross the street to avoid you, when your name carries danger, it creates the illusion of power. But it's a fragile illusion. Fear-based respect only lasts as long as people are afraid. The moment fear disappears, so does the respect. Strong men earn respect through discipline, competence, and control. Weak men force respect through intimidation. One is permanent, the other is temporary, and gangs are built on that temporary illusion. A system where fragile men try to hide their insecurity behind reputation. Brotherhood without accountability. Humans are tribal by nature. We crave brotherhood, a group that has our back. But real brotherhood comes with responsibility, discipline, standards, accountability. Gangs offer something very different. They offer brotherhood without accountability. You don't need to improve yourself. You just need to defend the group. If the group is wrong, you support it anyway. If the group harms others, you justify it. The individual disappears. The group becomes everything. This creates a powerful psychological effect called moral diffusion. When responsibility is spread across the group, individuals feel less guilt. It wasn't me. It was us. Weak men love this environment because personal responsibility is heavy, but shared responsibility feels lighter. Strong men stand alone if necessary. Weak men hide inside crowds, and gangs are the perfect crowd. A place where loyalty replaces morality, and belonging replaces integrity. The illusion of power. At first glance, it looks like confidence, but psychologically, it's usually the opposite. It's compensation. When a man feels weak internally, he often overcompensates externally. More aggression, more intimidation, more violence. Because dominance is easier than discipline. Dominance requires force. Discipline requires control, and control is much harder. True true power is quiet. It's the man who can control his anger, the man who can walk away from provocation, the man who builds strength instead of broadcasting it. But weak men misunderstand power. They believe power means making others afraid. So gangs become stages, places where fragile men perform toughness. But performances fade, and eventually reality catches up, because borrowed power is always temporary, and power without discipline eventually destroys itself. The fatherless void. Many gang stories begin with the same silent detail. No father, or a father who was present but absent. No guidance, no discipline, no example of manhood. Young boys learn masculinity by watching men. When that model disappears, confusion takes its place, and the boy begins searching for someone to replace that role. Someone strong, someone respected, someone feared. Gang leaders often fill that void. They become surrogate fathers. They offer rules, structure, approval. For a young man who never received those things, it feels powerful, but it's a distorted version of masculinity. Real fathers teach restraint. Real fathers teach responsibility. Gang leaders often teach the opposite: aggression, dominance, blind loyalty. The boy thinks he has found guidance, but what he actually found is manipulation. Because when a man grows up without strong leadership, he becomes vulnerable to the wrong leaders, and gangs know exactly how to exploit that vulnerability. The tragedy of wasted potential. Here's the bitter truth few people talk about. Many gang members are not stupid. In fact, some are extremely intelligent, strategic, observant, adaptable. The problem isn't lack of ability. The problem is lack of direction. Imagine if the same loyalty used for gangs was used for building strong families. Imagine if the same courage used for violence was used for discipline. The potential is there, but without guidance, potential turns into destruction, like an engine with no steering. Raw power, no direction. Strong men learn to direct their energy. Weak men let their energy control them, and when a man's strength has no purpose, it often finds the fastest outlet available, even if that outlet leads to self-destruction. That's the tragedy. Not just crime, but wasted lives. Men who could have built something powerful, choosing instead to destroy themselves slowly. The psychology of gangs isn't really about crime. It's about pain. Pain that was never understood, never guided, never disciplined. Weak men don't join gangs because they are strong. They join because they are searching for identity, for respect, for brotherhood, but they search in the wrong place. Because real masculinity doesn't come from groups that dominate others. It comes from mastering yourself. Strong men don't need gangs. They build their own code, their own discipline, their own direction, and they understand a truth most people learn too late. Weak men seek dominance. Strong men seek control. Control over their anger. Control over their choices. Control over their destiny. Because the most dangerous man is not the one who scares others. It's the one who no longer needs to.